Okay, so hello everybody. Hi Andrea, I can see your face.
Hey,
How are you?
Gary, how you doing? Thanks
Uh,
for your help.
all right, so let's start the meeting. Even if we're not yet on Facebook, I'm trying to do the live streaming, but it doesn't work for me right now. But it's okay. We'll have a recording up on the side. So there are a couple of things I would like to just address with you guys today and give you some data. But the first thing that I would like to talk about, because it is actually a pretty hot topic, is the fact that several people either they still have not been able to submit an application for the TIP program. And uh, that is something that I may be able to um, give you some information on that. Okay, Phil, that's great. We just got this. Let me just see that. But also, I may have some sort of solution that I could give you uh, that I was able to handle for our businesses this morning. So let me just explain to you that. But before, for a moment, has any of you either has any of you either submitted a PPP application and has received a rejection back that we cannot process your application, or or your financial institution is not even able to accept an application? Okay, so just just type um, no application, type the word no application if your financial institution has not allowed you to submit an application because they don't accept them yet. For example, Citibank is like that, exactly. Actually, I think after this, I'm going to boycott Citibank. I'm going to just drop Citibank because we have, I think, on Citibank something like 30 different accounts there. Um, and Capital One the same. Um, so SunTrust, you submitted the application, but no response yet. That's fine. Uh, Chase accepted application, and then they said they could not service the loan. Jason,
Oh,
but this may be an error, okay. Jason says application is done, and Jeff, they were turned away from Wells Fargo. Actually, yes, Jeff, unfortunately, the information I have also is that Wells Fargo said that they are really extremely busy. They have received so many applications that they will not be able to continue servicing applications. So let me let me just tell you what we have done, and maybe that can be a solution for you guys, okay? So, um, when this whole thing started, okay, our franchise attorney, we have an attorney for our HADS, the hands-on diagnostics franchise, recommended to us a specific financial institution that I'll tell you what that financial institution does. This is that I'm gonna put a picture of that right now so you guys can see it. The financial institution is called BOE-FLY, B-O-E Fly, F-L-Y. Now, we gave this information to our HUD's partners, and we also provided this information to one of the, I think our first or second town hall meeting that we did. Then we received an email from the CEO of this company, Mike Rosman, who had told us that, listen, because our platform is not able yet to receive applications, we suggest if you do have a local bank that can take your application, go with them. This is why for one of our companies that is working with TD Bank, when TD Bank started accepting applications, we applied for one of our companies with TD Bank because TD Bank accepted the application. Our application with TD Bank is in review right now. Okay. However, another 4 of our companies were with Citibank. And unfortunately, as many of you know, Citibank has not allowed to submit an application. Well, guess what happened? 4 o'clock this morning, honestly, I got up to go use the restroom, okay? So I'm checking my phone, and what do I see? I see an email again from Mike Rosman, the CEO of BoFlies, that you can submit an application right now. So I have submitted at this point for the other companies application 3 through BoFly. The process was seamless. It was very fast and it was easy. So I suggest that you try it, but look at this. If you go to their website here, if you go to BoFly, don't go to bofly.com. You have to go to this thing, SBA Cares. Let me just copy the link and post.
Oh,
Mute
goodness.
everybody. We have a little baby there.
Stop.
Okay, I'm muting everybody. All right. So if you want to say something, you can unmute. Okay, but I muted. All right. So I just posted, guys, the correct website if you want to go to submit an application there. Now, what this organization does, interestingly enough, they go and they submit your application based on the numbers that you put to specific banking vendors that they have qualified. Okay, yeah, now let me, Andrea, look, you're saying a ton of records. I have to tell you, I uploaded these records also on TD Bank. You have to upload your 940, all of your 941s. If you have any invoice, a sample invoice from health insurance payments that you do, I mean, they will request these. Every bank will. I had to do it with TD Bank, same thing. And I doubt that any other bank will accept your word for it. In other words, you are claiming that you are paying for health insurance, I don't know, $4,000 a month for your stuff, okay? Why would they believe you unless you give them some proof for it, okay? Yes, these loans are federally guaranteed, but each financial institution has been charged by SBA and the government to vet our application. So some type of proof needs to be provided to them in regards to that. Yeah, have everything ready. Okay, so Jeff McMenami from Wyoming, he's a HUD's partner. He says that Pinnacle Bank and First Interstate banks have accepted our applications in Wyoming. That's awesome. And by all means, you guys can try to contact these banks and see if they can accept your application, even if you do not have an account with them. As far as concerning Citibank and Capital One, unfortunately, still Citibank is saying that they will not process loans. The Citi is working with the Small Business Administration to provide relief. While we're working as quickly as we can, we are not yet able to accept applications, which is totally ridiculous, but that's what it is. All right, so that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. And please, if you have any questions about this, just let me know. You can type it or you can unmute and ask your question. Dmitry Shestakovsky, he says that he applied for EIDL loan last week. So far, nothing. Any thoughts? So, look, we did the same. We have not gotten any response yet for the EIDL loans, okay? Here is our decision. Today is Wednesday. I'm very busy the whole day with webinars and stuff like that. Tomorrow is a little easier day for me. Unless I see money in the accounts tomorrow, I'm resubmitting the application. So that's what we did. We decided to give them like 5 business days, which is going to be tomorrow. Okay. So Phil reapplied today, got application number, and they said it would take 1 week. Now, Phil and the rest of you, let me ask you something. Has anyone found, because I have not been able to find, has anyone found a website on SBA or anywhere else where you can plug in your EIDL loan number and you can get a status of your application? Has anybody found a website where you can find the status of your application? Because we have not been able to. All right, I see nobody responding yes, so I assume nobody has been able to identify that. Let me ask something. Christina, what happened with Chase? Do I have Christina on the...
Oh, can you hear me now?
Hi, Christina. What happened with Chase? Give us an update on Chase, please.
So I have, I was able to submit the application. So basically I had put in the pre-app, and then on Monday night, my, they call them relationship managers, called me and he said, go on now. And then he stayed on the phone with me and we went through all the questions, and it was pretty, they only required, like I basically put in all the information and then uploaded my 940 and 941. And the only number that I wasn't as prepared for, they wanted to know what my income, what the revenue of the business was last year. But other than that, it was pretty simple.
At that time, Christina, when you submitted, at that time, did you have to, did you include your FICA or no?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You include the FICA, the health insurance, and the gross payroll, capping anybody at 100,000.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, the next step, he said that he's part of an underwriting team that basically Chase itself will be going through the apps, and someone will call me if they have questions.
Awesome. Unfortunately, a decision was made what is today, Wednesday? A decision was made Monday night that as of yesterday, any applications that were submitted, you cannot include your FICA on the amount of money that you are gonna get. So, which means that that reduces the amount of money. I do not know if retroactively they are gonna go back to applications that were submitted before yesterday, or they will allow those previously submitted applications to include the FICA and applications after yesterday not including the FICA.
You know what, are you sure of that? Because my accountant called me Monday morning and said he gave me that number, and I just was on another call and they were very specific. That was Bob saying you are supposed to include your federal taxes.
It was changed.
My local banker, Jimmy, he made me redo my application because I submitted an initial application with the FICA in it, and then he made me redo it without it after that change.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jason.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's what's happening. So they are making it really difficult to deal with here. All right, somebody had a question on Medicare, but also there's another one. Can business owner apply for unemployment if you are not working? And if so, do you apply via PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, or just regular unemployment form and then get off unemployment once the PPP loan comes in and go back to payroll? Look, here is the thing. If you are drawing a W-2 from your business, you are considered then an employee of the business in that regard. And then you have a choice. If you are an employee of your own business drawing W-2, when you pay for unemployment insurance and disability insurance and all that stuff, there is a choice that you have to include or not include yourself, since you are an owner of the business. If you have included yourself in that unemployment insurance benefit that you pay to the state, I don't see a reason why you cannot submit for unemployment benefits. But if you have not paid for that part for you, I believe they will deny you. Again, you should check with the Labor Department. Good luck if you can get them on the phone, but check their website. Okay. Let me see. Is there a Medicare? There was a Medicare question. Hey, Rachel. Was there a Medicare question that you guys have? Okay, hold on. Oh, yes. Rachel, please unmute your microphone. Rachel contacted me late last night. I think she has some valuable info to give us. Go ahead, Rachel.
Hi, everybody. Yes, so I know yesterday we were talking about the PPP loans and how we had to wait for our primary banks for our business in order to start the process of those loans. And my business is local banking with Chase, and I felt that Chase was a little bit slow with the process. So I went and did some of my own research, and I found some very small banks that were not related, even in New York State, one I found in Princeton, New Jersey. So if you go and research, I sent about 15 emails out to just different small banks within the tri-state area. Again, they're all online applications. And I heard back from several of them, and I was actually able to file my PPP loan with 2 different very small banks not connected with my business whatsoever. So I was successful with the initial filing. I gave them all of my paperwork, and now I'm waiting to hear back for the next stage in that process. So I believe everyone has been thinking you have to wait for your primary business bank, but I encourage people to research and possibly look for alternates.
And can you share in the chat the names of the banks that you were able to get through?
Sure, absolutely. And also what I did was originally, so my philosophy is at this point, we're in such a dire straight situation, throw as many darts as you can and see where it hits the board, right? And so I reached out vis-a-vis one name, and I just started sending out like 15 emails, and some of the people responded saying, we were doing that, but we're full, but now try this bank. So the people that I reached out to actually responded to me if they couldn't help me, and they gave me other banks. So again, I can definitely give the name of the banks that I ended up using, but if they're not using them anymore, people were very gracious responding via email. And I was actually surprisingly, because with Chase, I haven't been able to get a person on the phone. It's been just email. But with these very, very small local banks, I've been able to speak with human beings, and I've been getting email responses in a very quick manner, an appropriate manner. So my experience, even though I do not have a banking relationship, I've never even been to any of these banks, is these small banks are very, very helpful, because if we do our PPP loans with them, it's actually giving them business. So I think that my experience has been very positive. So I can share the ones that I've used already, but again, I encourage people to just throw darts, and with overnight, I got many responses, and I found myself being able to go on many paths.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. That's
I'll do that right now.
helpful. Yeah.
Has anybody actually gotten a loan?
I have not heard of anyone who has gotten a loan. What I have heard is the following. Number one, I have heard that so far, just around a little bit over 100 billion
I have to get it out. I started listening to it in the car since I was running a little bit late.
been requested. Then I don't know how much of that has been dispersed already. I know that a specific physical therapist received an actual loan number, and they told them that they are going to fund his amount, his approved amount. Okay,
That's 1 out of 100 billion.
That would be nice, right, for him. That's probably a little portion of the 100 billion. All right.
But it's better than not even being able to file your application. And I had not been able to do that until yesterday. So I feel like at least, sorry to interrupt, but I feel like at least now I'm heading in the right direction. Whereas before yesterday, I felt like my hands were tied, and I was doing everything I could, and I was just almost drowning because I couldn't even file an application yet.
Yeah. And I do not know how many of you are also independent contractors, but you guys, if you are independent contractors, if some of you, they are both business owners and independent contractors, you are not going to be able to start submitting independent contractor applications until this coming Friday. Okay. So there are people who are business owners, and at the same time, they are also independent contractors. So those, they can submit an application for their business, or they have submitted already an application for their business. And if they receive a 1099, let's say, from a different source, they can submit then a different application for that 1099. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, so we got Bank of Princeton in Princeton, New Jersey. Is it Sterling Bank? STE? Okay, good. Sterling Bank is a good one. I had looked on that too. And to look at PPPL loan, what's that?
So I just got that information today, and I have not researched that yet, but this is what someone else told me this morning. So I think all of us can look into if there's a different type of loan, not just the PPP. This is some information I've just gotten today, and I've been, again, trying to keep up as current as I can, but I can't even tell you what that is yet, because I just heard about it within the past couple of hours. Okay,
awesome. All right, so guys, before, as we are getting close to 1:30, and before I start losing people, I want to just go over a couple of quick things with you. First of all, thank you very much for the huge response we are getting for the PT for Heroes. We have now a lot more people who are participating in the program. We've got a whole bunch of new facilities, as you see, who are participating now in the program PT for Heroes. We keep adding them as we receive them. And now we have put on the site actually, and not only the area where you as a PT can join, but also we have put here now the area where doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals, they can submit their information and we will connect them with one of you guys. So we are still working on how that connection will take place, but most likely what we are leaning towards is the moment that someone will be entering their state, we will make available to them a list of all of the practices that are part of the program and they are in that state. I also encourage you guys to help us make this initiative bigger because it really helps tremendously the physical therapy profession. It's an awesome PR for the PT profession. And I will type here an email address of Diane Lilly, Diane@handsonpt.org. She is our PR person, and if you have any ideas or if you want to help on PRing this even more, please contact her. Also, tonight, for those of you who are interested on telehealth, tonight we have the marketing for your tele-PT practice, okay? So you can go on savephysicaltherapy.com and register for it. Is tele-PT and marketing, everything you need to know. We have 3 guests on this event. It's gonna be pretty amazing. And also, we just added, but not listed yet, 2 more webinars. One will take place next Tuesday. Somebody says, just wanted to say thanks from one Dimi to another. Your seminars have been excellent. Thank you, Dimitri. I appreciate it. Next Tuesday, we're going to do a webinar on telehealth billing updates. By that time, we're going to have more information from the about the new Medicare codes that were released, and we will be able to provide those to you. And we will also be able to provide you with some more information about compliance. We got already 2 practices in the state of Michigan that were audited for OSHA compliance during all this COVID-19 process. So we'll talk to you about that. And then that would be Tuesday, the 13th of April. And then Tuesday, the 21st of April, I am going to do a webinar on the 5 mitigation strategies that the physical therapy private practice must apply right now. Okay, thank you, Rachel. That was very sweet. Okay, let me share something with you also. I'm gonna share with you some data now. I don't know how much you like numbers, but I'm gonna share with you data. We conducted a nationwide research, survey, not research, survey. And I want to share with you data we got from this survey. We got quite a few responses, and I can post also here the link so you guys can participate if you have not done it already. We got 77 people answering to this. We had 77 practices. In the question, is currently your office open and operational? Actually, 79% of the practices are still open in some capacity. Even if they see 2 patients a week, they're still open. or 16% they are shut down completely. What percentage of your patients are still coming to your office? 40% of the, 52% of the practices, they have less than 30% of their clientele going to their offices. So if they had 100 patients before, they only have 30 or less right now, okay? 31 to 50%, they're only 25% of the practices, okay? There are very few practices, 1% here, that they have managed to maintain their numbers higher, probably in some, I don't know, some village, some remote area that nobody has been affected. Have you implemented telehealth yet? This is interesting, 50-50. Only 50% of the people have implemented telehealth. There's another 50% who have not. And one person, as you see, was shy. He or she did not even answer. He or she skipped the question. So yeah, I mean, we believe that telehealth is a big thing for now and the future. What percentage of your total daily visits are in telehealth? Big percentage, 50% of the people, 51%, nobody. Another 40% of the people, from 1 to 20% of their visits are on telehealth. And 1% of the people, 1.3% of the people, 21 to 40%. Look at this, there are some facilities that they have more than 60% of their patients on telehealth. Now let me give you, I can disclose that. I'll give you our numbers, okay? Immediately after the whole shutdown started happening in New York, we were having maybe 25 to 30% of our patients, patient visits. We have managed right now, we are up to, that's awesome, Rachel, 100% of her practice is telehealth or e-health. That's fantastic. This data is nationwide. So in our practice, 40%, we have managed to maintain at this point 40% of the total volume of our practice. 1/3 to a little bit more than 1/3 of that 40%, they are telehealth, and the remaining, no, I'm sorry, that's a mistake. 40% of our patients right now are on telehealth, and 60% of our patients right now are actually still visiting our office. Our office is still open, and we are seeing people with a lot of precautions and everything. Okay. This is an interesting question we asked them. And you know why we asked this question about new patients? Because yes, the question is not only being able to convert your existing patients, but your existing patients sooner or later will be done, will be finished. How can you manage to obtain new patients? Okay, this is what the webinar we're going to do tonight on telehealth is going to address mainly. How do you market that telehealth business to manage to get those new patients? And we're going to have three people. I'm going to have three people with me. We're going to have Tim Mantis, who just put a note there for you guys. He's going to talk about how you can create, how you can get more patients through relationships, through establishing relationship marketing. We're going to have Cart Matiola, who's going to talk about a lot of social media marketing. And we're going to have Neil Trickett, who's going to talk about using blogs, newsletters, and websites to get people in your practice. But look at this, 65% of the people responded that they are only seeing 24% or less of new patient visits, okay? This is big. Okay, so we need to change this. We need to change this. All right. What percentage of your staff did you have to let go or furlough? These are the percentages you can see. All right. It's a mixed answer. What actions have you taken? Everybody's cutting expenses. That's a good step. Negotiating terms of leases and loans and all that. That's good. Converting staff to part-time. That's a no-brainer. Implementing tele-PT, 55%. Some people, they are implementing diagnostics. Some people are applied for loans or grants and all that. This is a similar question, strategies they will implement. And finally, we asked them, where do they obtain their information? Lots of people from APTA and PPS APTA, but look at this, we're pretty high up. 62% of the people are attending our webinars or daily town halls and all that. Chad Madden is up there, Neil Trickett, Mary DeLong, Survival, Dawenda, like lots of different resources, okay? And interestingly enough, a big chunk of people either will increase their promotion or keep their promotion the same. And again, promotion of services doesn't have to be expensive and you don't have to pay a lot of money, okay? But promotion should not be cut down. You should continue that promotion. All right, any questions? To send a link to these stats, I will have to modify a few things and send you the link because there are a couple of other questions that are internal for our organization, but I will cut those questions out and I'll send you the ones that I can share, which is pretty much what I shared right now. All right, anybody else, any question about anything? All right, I will post right now into the, I'm gonna post into the link there, into the Zoom chat, the link where you guys can go and actually answer this very survey so we can include your responses too. All right, keep up the good work, keep safe, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's town hall or in tonight's webinar. And Andrea, kiss that little cat for me. Yeah, awesome. All right, take care, guys. Bye.